of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
I'm muted. How we doing? Good afternoon. A little bit later in the afternoon than usual. Happy evening or good morning. Happy Saturday to anybody out there. I guess in the Australian time zone, it would be in the morning for you. Hope you're doing well. Welcome in, United Spurs of America. The window has closed. It has officially closed. The rumors, the circus, the hoopla, we can finally put it to bed, tuck it in real nice. I say tuck it in tight. Make sure them things don't get out till January, because honestly, I'm kind of relieved it's over. As a content creator, I guess maybe that lessens the availability to just thriving content or spur of the moment content. But either way, how are you doing? Happy Friday, people. I'm enjoying my Friday. I hope you are as well. Feeling too blessed to be stressed yet again. So the vibes are immaculate. I guess the reason why I'm not full of energy right now is, we got Brennan Johnson over the line. I feel like the club kind of waited till the very end to announce it, when in reality we always knew what was going on. It would have been nice to see some more. Personally, we'll get into it. We'll talk about it in just a little while. But let me know your thoughts. I did ask in the poll, how do you rate the Spurs window? So far 55% is rating it a 4 to 6. I couldn't provide more than 4 options, so that was the best way I could try to represent people. But if you want to get your ratings in right now, you can hit them in the comments. If you're watching this live or on playback, big up yourself right now. Anywhere in the world you could be, you chose to be right here with United Spurs of America. Not sure how long I got today to go live, but there are a few things I wanted to talk about. Obviously, we got Burnley tomorrow. The window's closed. Business is officially shut. I have a web page we'll look at, and we'll, break down some of these. I think getting a visual representation of the transfer goings, I think it's pretty. It made me feel a little bit better. I was texting with Michael before the show. He I don't know if he wants me to release his rating, but he rated it a 4 out of 10. He gave it a 4. I felt like a 4. Brennan Johnson, maybe he comes good. Maybe he is good. We've all just been sleeping on him. All the fans have been thinking this and that and the other. We've been sleeping on him. I don't know. Scoring 8 goals in a Nottingham Forest side. It's more goals than Kulusevski and Richarlison last season. So can't be that bad of a signing, in my opinion. Now, the only thing I don't like about it is it just seemed like we were hanging on to that one signing to be the, get us through deadline day type news. When in reality, we were linked with quite a few people. And I guess word got out that we needed to get rid of players before we brought any players in. And that's at least what Fabrizio was saying. I was watching that guy on Kick. I don't know if you don't know what Kick is. Kick. If you don't know what Kick is, God, I hate that name. It does not roll off the. It does not. It's not like Moist or something. It doesn't roll off the tongue. But over there on Kick, he was streaming for quite a long time. I was listening in, watching a few other things, checking Twitter, this, that, and the other. And really, I just kind of bored. It was very lackluster. I was, if you heard from me yesterday, I was really hoping for some ingoings, outgoings. We did get a few. I guess Japhet Tanganga was one of them that we got out. Obviously, Brennan Johnson in, but outside of that, I don't really know. Sergio, we discussed yesterday. It just seems like it could have been a busier time, personally. Maybe I'm being picky. Maybe I'm being gripey about it. I don't know. You tell me. But I just feel like, a little bit more would have been nice. Give me a little bit more to say, a little more flavor to savor, if you dig what I'm saying. Let's see who got first in the chat before I keep going and rambling on about my thoughts of this window. But so far, 52% is rating it a 4 to 6. That is a pretty good money range because, you know, Michael gave it a 4. Me personally, I'm somewhere in the 5. Kind of feels 6 sometimes, depending how I think about it. But got 4% for 0 or lower. Curious how many people picked that answer out of 25 votes so far. It's an interesting choice for real. But I hope everyone is doing well. First place prize goes to a YouTube chat member nonetheless. It says, evening everyone, I'm glad the window is shut. The circus is over till January. Elvis, I feel that, and I feel you. Big up. Get step on up and grab your first place prize. There's really nothing, so I don't know why I said that. I don't actually have like a first place prize prepared. Maybe if it was like a big production or something, I could send you a prize, but I don't have a prize. Ryman's son's in the house. Big up Ryman. Big up Michael. Happy Friday, Jacob. Happy Friday yourself. Michael is just gotten off work. He's got some fantasy football drafts he has to do, so if you're in America, you know how serious those things are. He's got to focus on that. But he did tell me he rated it a 4, so that's where Michael stands. Alan Bennett says, evening, Jacob. Big up, Alan. Hope you're keeping well. Man, it's getting close to dinner time. I'm getting hungry. I don't know why I tried to squeeze a show in when I'm so hungry at this moment. I don't know why I did that, but either way we move. Ryman Sun says, inbound transfer rating is a 3. Outbound transfer rating is an 8, therefore a 5.5 overall rating based on a 0.5 weight split. Interesting choice there. I mean, if that's how you deduct it, big up yourself right now. I like the mathematics. Look, I mean, there's no beating around the bush. We did get some good business done, quite frankly. I mean, look at this guy. He looks pretty happy to be here. Right? He looked kind of happy to be here. At least that's what it looks like anyway. I mean, when you look at our rivals, I'm going to go ahead and share this other tab instead. Can you see that? No, it's not really that big. Let me zoom in. So we got Brennan Johnson, James Madison, Pedro Porro, Mickey Van de Veen, which honestly, Mickey Van de Veen, technically Pedro Porro's on the... Jesus. Drop my phone. Technically, Pedro Porro is on this transfer window payroll, right? Because we made the deal official. So when you look at these names, really, it's really once we start getting to the Maynard, Solomon, Ashley Phillips, Alejo Veliz, that I start saying, okay, these guys aren't really impacting. But James Madison affects the immediate 11. Pedro Porro affects the immediate 11. Mickey Van de Veen has and will continue to affect the immediate 11. Dan Kulisevsky, you could argue, could be fighting it out for Brennan Johnson. So now there's 2 players that you could argue are fighting for the 11. So, and then we go to Guglielmo Vicario, Sicario, as I like to call him. If you know the movie, shout out yourself right now. But a goalkeeper, again, affects the immediate 11. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of the first 6 names I'm reading from this list affect and impact the immediate 11, and that's something that I've griped about, that I wanted to see personally. So the fact that, I mean, I can't be too upset. I gotta call it how I see it. I mean, whether I agree that we should have done more, and I've said that off the top, that we should have done more business. I wanted to see more. Obviously, we had the links with Chalobah, or whatever his name is, Trevor Chalobah from Chelsea. Honestly, whenever I heard the name, I was like, this is just some news for the hungry people to chew on while they wait out the deadline. Because honestly, the Brennan Johnson, I think David with Irish Hotspur was the first one I saw in a group chat saying, yep, that's it, it's over, it's done, our window's over, and it was like 2 hours to go. And I had hope. I still had hope like a fool, but there I was waiting until the very end. But regardless, I mean, look at these names: Brennan Johnson, James Madison, Pedro Porro, Mickey Van de Veen, Kulisevsky, Vicario, all affect the 11. That's 6. Now Alejo Veliz, Ashley Phillips, Maynard Solomon. Now there's 3 that do not. But I like that on this transfer market website, it includes Destiny Ugodi, because if we didn't give ourselves credit for that deal of business last window, we have to put, at some point, the credit for bringing this guy in has to go somewhere. So I'm going to say It goes on this one, and that's just me arbitrarily saying that. And Transfer Market seems to agree, so I don't feel too out of the realm of reality saying that. But then, okay, well then that's getting back into people who so we start getting back into people who return from loan. But Maynard Solomon, Ashley Phillips, Alejo Veliz, Vicario, Kulusevski, Vanderveen. I mean, there's really 3 names out of that don't immediately impact the 11, and 2 of those are bright young kids that allegedly our data analytics have led us into signing. So if we are to believe that, then honestly I'm feeling pretty good. I know some people have different different feelings and opinions about the window. For me personally, when I look at some of these names, I'm pretty happy with a lot of this business. Yes, I want more, but how much can we eat at once? You know what I mean? Obviously, we struggle getting players out the door today. That seemed to be the main problem. But I'm looking at some of these names. I'm not too upset, if I'm completely honest. James Madison, what a guy he's turned out to be. Brennan Johnson is the most expensive out of this. And I do have this other tweet that I was previously sharing. That Brennan Johnson is our 3rd most expensive signing ever, and I think that's behind Richarlison and Ndombele. So let's hope that this one turns out different. It's kind of scary. Big ups Colin with talking ball. This is big up. I think that's what he was trying to say with these typos. Big up San Antonio Hotspur. Let me keep saying hello. I know I was gonna say hi, and then I ended up going on another ramble. Big up to all in the chat and to the man Jacob himself. Big up Colin. Hit the bar. Sorry, I can't read tonight. It says evening Jacob. Big up Hit the Bar. Jazz Fusion. Besides Tanganga, did anyone leave today? No. No, I don't think so. Let's look. Let's look at the departures. This is live. Like, this apparently is recently updated. I mean, I guess depending what time you want to say, but Regulon, that was yesterday. So it's just Japhet Tanganga today. That's all. That is all. That's all that left. Not even Harvey White. I think Harvey White was linked somewhere, and not even that one went through. Big up Dan Davenport. Hello, how you doing? Milton Nobrega is in the house. Howdy, Jacob. Hope you're well. Big up everyone in the chat. Can't wait for the Burnley game. Need a solid performance and 3 points. Keep up the great work, Jacob. Big up Milton. Appreciate you being here. Cheers. Pause for the cause, Hydration Nation. Always pause for the cause. Hit the Bar says, glad it's over. I'm glad it's over too, my friend. Balpender's in the house. Thank God this window has closed. Are we all just relieved? Does it feel like somebody took a big heavy blanket off of us and finally the air is coming through and we feel a little bit better? Dan Davenport disappointed they couldn't get any more of the Deadwood out, but players in so far has been okay. Absolutely. And honestly, Harry Winks, that's one of them. So, you know, I may not have been all Lucas Moura, that's another one. Tanganga's another name that people have been throwing around. For me, Sergio Reguilon I never thought that he would make it here. So when you look at these names, there's some Deadwood that we got. Some, not all, but some. So there's some positives to take, you know. There's been some Twitter meltdown a little bit, I think, and I try to be as rational as I can. Maybe I'm not being very rational right now, but obviously don't like that name at the top that left. But I like to look at what we did do, and the first 6 names impact the immediate 11, so I'm not really upset. Excuse me. Ryman Sun says transfer rating is booty per usual. Ooh, booty. Gave it a booty rating. Sometimes booty could be a good rating, though. You don't know. Maybe it's a nice booty, and you got to give it a nice rating. I don't know, Ryman. Maybe that's what you meant. Carl Simpson. Well, that was hard work. Just done almost 4-hour stream with THFC till I die. I cannot deny I was desperate for that center back. Bella Kotchap was dangling right there, waiting for us. Tosin, the deal fell through. There were some options there late. Shaloba, obviously, I never thought Shaloba was going to happen, but we were rumored with that. It's tough, man. It's tough. I was really hoping for that third center back. I said 3 all along, and obviously Ashley Phillips technically counts, But Mickey Van de Ven is a guy that I've long sought after. So personally, maybe it's a little biased or whatever, but to see Tottenham do business that I've asked for in the likes of Mickey Van de Ven personally makes me very happy. Makes me very happy. And I'm very pleased. At least we've gotten to see some of like Vicario play, Van de Ven, James Maddison. We can't say maybe Brennan Johnson yet, but the rest of these guys, we've seen them play, so we can kind of rate the window with that in mind, I think. In my opinion, I think we can. Big up Ben Kaufman. Full day of streaming completed. Absolutely shattered. Big up everybody who was creating content throughout the day. Let me catch up in the chat before I keep going. Don't hate any signing particularly, but the two futures do nothing for you now, and the toxic holdovers are a bad look. Well, yeah, I guess we just couldn't give him the boot, man. We couldn't get him on out of here. Harry Puss says Matters and Van de Ven filled two obvious voids. Johnson also good business. One more center back and a few more outgoings would have pushed the rating to a 7 or 8, but I'd still give us a solid 6. That's pretty good. Your mom loves a solid 6, by the way. Big up. Was that American Pie? I think that's American Pie. Luca14, big up. Luca14. Kaylee Davis, another YouTube chat member, says, I give it a meh. I don't know if you had to put a number on meh, but I guess that'd be like a 4, right? Somewhere in there. Let me know, Kaylee. But big up. Appreciate you being here. Again, happy Friday, y'all. We got a match tomorrow. When you think about it, if that don't get your blood rolling, I don't know what will. Because I start getting the tinglies 24 hours before match day. And honestly, I haven't really had them because it's been transfer deadline day and I've felt like more focused on that. But honestly, the way I feel right now, I'm starting to think about, I'm trying to think about the future rather than what could have been. But I still want to know what y'all think. So keep your ratings coming in, y'all. Also participate in that poll. Sander Mellingen. Evening, sorry if I butchered your name. I likely did. Evening, Jacob. Now that was somewhat disappointing. The usual Levy transfer window, never really getting it done. Big up, Sander. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, I feel a little let down as well. Just a little bit let down. Spurs should win a trophy for being the only club who can keep rubbish when they are not wanted. How many times you got to say, here's an offer, here's an offer, here's an offer, until one of them leave, and allegedly none of them wanted to leave. I say allegedly because what do we really know? What do we really know? Luca 14, 3.5 out of 10 beats last summer's 3 out of 10. Luca, I think that's pretty optimistic. Graham Turner says, disappointed we didn't sign a goal scorer and a center back. Typical Levy window. The manager let the manager down once again. Allegedly Brennan Johnson is the manager's #1 target, Graham. Take that for what it's worth. I don't know if he had if that's one of them hostage video quotes or if it's a genuine quote, but I guess I got to try and hope that I don't know if I'm going to try and hope. I said this to, I don't know who I said this to, but I said, now really the pressure is on Ainge and Brennan Johnson. There's a lot of pressure on both of them to get it done, to improve, I suppose, the right-hand side or wherever Brennan comes in. I think he has to be a starter for the money you spent, maybe not right away, but eventually, or at least challenging for. And I think that the pressure is now on him as a player and on Ainge as a manager to make it work, because he came out and said, that's my #1 target. So if that's the case, my friend, got to put your money where your mouth is, and it remains to be seen. So the pressure is on. And you know what? The pressure has already been on because a lot of fans were pretty upset with the way he handled that Fulham match. But different strokes for different folks, I suppose. David O'Loughlin says, a bit disappointed with no center back. I am too. With an extra center back. Obviously, we got the Van de Ven over the line. But, yeah, a bit disappointed. Any center back free agents out there? I could look that up, Callum. I'll try looking that up in a minute. Luca, Dyer, and Levy are no longer best friends. I guess not, because allegedly what's also come out with our boy Dyer is that he wants to just sit on the bench for a year. And you know what? If you want to do that, then by all means, my friend. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. That reminds me of something that I did bookmark. The fact that I was just talking about that Eric Dyer thing. That I think I want to give a little bit of a shout out to this man. Oh, well, wrong tab. This man right here, Japhet Tanganga. First and foremost, because I think this tweet really put it well. He knew that his chances were limited under Ainge, and that's football. He got up, done something in his career, got to move away to play football with the option. And I think there's an obligation if Augsburg, Ricardo Pepi played there last year, but that's all I really knew about him. But FC Augsburg in the Bundesliga, he got his loan move, and he could be permanent if they stay up. So big shout out to him, because I really just think if some other players did this, I'm talking to you, Eric Dyer, talking to you, Hugo Lloris. Hugo apparently wants to be a starter and doesn't want to compete. My guy, anywhere you go, you're going to have to compete. That's unless there's somewhere you got lined up. But, another one of those that we couldn't get over the line, get out the door. I don't know. It's tough. But I do want to say shout out to Tanganga, a guy that I had a lot of hopes for. He had some good moments and then some really not good moments. Some really not good moments. But he also had some really brilliant moments. So, for what it's worth, I think he's a great guy. Would love to see him do really well at Augsburg, be a cog in that machine there, and really a staple in that lineup. I would love to see it personally. I think he's a great guy, and I admire it. Get your career going. That's what we always. You hear a lot of content creators say that, right? What about Harry Kane's ambition, or I've even brought up Eric Dyer's ambition to just sit on the bench and accept that role. Now I think with Højbjerg it's a little different, because with Højbjerg, he has a potential to serve a role here, whereas I feel like Tanganga he knew that he didn't really have a role here, and Eric Dyer should be feeling the same way, but yet he's more comfortable sitting back. I don't know. Again, I guess allegedly, I should preface that, right? Jaros Pina, if only we got another center back. Yeah, we did miss out on that. Carl Simpson, the players were in a good, but we could have nailed it with a center back and a striker. That's one of the things that Michael said, that we didn't get a striker, we didn't get another center back. Could Brennan Johnson be the winger that comes in and then we move Sonny to the middle, and then quote unquote, we got our striker because it's Youngmin's son, Youngmin daddy? I don't know. Always pause for the cause, Hydration Nation. If you haven't had any water today, or you hadn't had any water in the last 10 minutes, go ahead and sip up, my friend. It's time to bless yourself. Hit the Bar says we are 2 injuries away from a struggling team. We are 1 injury away from a struggling team, or at least struggling in positions. That was on full display versus Fulham. Callum Roche, at least we didn't get Kelly. Honestly, I liked what I saw from Kelly. I looked a lot into his numbers and like his career and what he had kind of done out there with them cherries. Now again, I didn't really know or think of him before yesterday. But looking into him, I was actually kind of like, you know what? I'd take him over Dyer. I know that much. And I was looking at, he was very instrumental in the team that they were when they came up. So to me, that at least puts him at Oliver Skip level, which if he's reached Oliver Skip level, which is being a key component to a promotion side, then you at least got to give him a sniff, in my opinion. Because so many people tout Oliver Skip, and really that's the best thing that Oliver Skip has done, in my opinion, is be a crucial part to Norwich when they came up. So this is a guy I looked at a lot of those things, and he's gotten a lot of game time. Then he got injured, I think it was. So actually, I kind of was like, you know what, Kelly, 24 years old, not worse than Dyer, in my opinion. Cannot be worse than Dyer. I know that might be extreme, but that's just how I feel. Marshall, the lack of selling our overstaffed squad was painful. How Lloris and Dyer still here is just a joke. And it's not even a funny joke. It's not even a ha-ha. It's like a nightmare, like when the clowns are laughing in your nightmares. Don Dada's in the house. Like, share, subscribe, support your quality channel as you continue to get quality content on a consistent. Look at this guy coming in here showing some love. I don't even think he's I'm pretty damn sure Dundada is not a Spurs fan, but here he is helping out a channel, helping us do our thing. So do hit that like, hit that subscribe if you're new. I see 58 votes, 47 likes, 11 people want to participate in the poll, or at least get the poll out of their way so they can read the chat. Go ahead and hit that like. It costs absolutely nothing. It's bringing free beer to the party. Does nothing but help the party. Or not. Whatever, dude. It's your life. Like, I think Pink said that. It's my life. No, wait. Bon Jovi? It's my life now or never. I think that was Bon Jovi. Why did I think that was Pink? I don't know who said that, honestly. Carl Simpson, what I like about it is they're all young and hungry. You know what they say? A hungry dog will find a way to get fed if they are hungry enough and motivated enough. Got a Twitch comment, says the lack of a center forward will cost us later in the sun, even if we play Sun up front. In the long run is maybe what they meant. Big up MK Kid, 1969. Very interesting year. Yeah, the lack of center forward depth will surely cost us. Just don't call me Shirley, because we also, let's not forget, we did loan out Dane Scarlett. So we don't even have him as like a fallback plan. I guess Alejo Veliz if he gets his work visa sorted. But outside of that, who else do we have? That's actually that actually just set in, because I just always figured we'd eventually bring in a striker. I mean, I guess put Brennan Johnson in the middle. I don't know. It's gonna be fun. What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? That's fun. The mystery, right? Isn't that what some people say? They enjoy the mystery of it all. Maybe that's what we're about to get. I don't know. San Antonio Hotspur. Udogi was the left back we always needed. Absolutely. Ugodi is what I say. He's the real deal. Jacob cooking the Ugodi books. Absolutely. 100% of the time. Now he's the most expensive. Levy will accept the loss of Ndombele. I hope. We haven't gotten rid of him yet. Dry Rose Peanut. We need to get this homegrown player situation under control. Maybe that's why we were looking at Trevor Chaloba rather than bottle of ketchup. We should have gotten the ketchup guy. You know what I mean? No Conte, but we got ketchup. You know, it's kind of fun. Luca, at least we can be sure that Johnson will give everything for the shirt. He looks happy. We'll say what you want about the man, but look, I'm about to share, not Sonny and share, but I'm about to share. This is their feed. I mean, look at this guy. He's smiling real big. He looked pretty damn happy to be here. Look at that, in the away kit and everything. He looks good in Tottenham colors. I can't lie. Look at that young chap. I think he's going to have a bright future here, honestly. New kits. Who this? Oh, look at that. He got the trifecta. The trifecta in his hands. What is that tattoo? Was it like a compass? That looks like one. That tattoo right there looks like one of them things you'd see at Urban Outfitters. They got like a clock or like a wooden plaque with that burned into it. But he looks happy. He looks like a happy guy to be here. I don't know. Does anyone know? Does he smile like this all the time? I'm pretty sure he was the guy that took out Richarlison when Richie juggled the ball versus Nottingham Forest last year. There he is trying on the shirt. He loves it. I think he likes it. Okay, he's not smiling there, but I think you can see in his eyes that he wants to be here. He's smiling. This guy looks happy to be here. You know what I mean? He didn't say, come on, you Spurs in his video. But, I mean, outside of that, he seems pretty happy to be here. I think he looks happy. Look at that. Caption, Grandma's in the house. G'day, Jacob. One and all disappointed, but not surprised with the way the window finished. Surely Ainge won't like the prospect of having to play Sanchez and Davies as center backs if Romero and Van de Ven are out. I don't even want to think about that, Caption Grandma, because if I think about the fact that if Romero goes down or Van de Ven goes down, that's Sanchez. Now Sanchez fits right in there. I'm trying to smile like Brendan Johnson right now, Captain Grandma. I know you're talking about real reality, but honestly, damn, I'm not trying to think about that right now. Big up, Captain Grandma, another YouTube chat member checking in. How many of the loans are obligated to buy? I believe the only one I read that on was Japhet Tanganga's. All the other ones, I know Regulon was just a straight loan. I know. Who else was on the list? I have it right here. Jed Spence was just a straight loan. And Joe Roden was just a straight loan. So So Roden's gonna come back. Reguilon will be back. Reguilon could be back by January allegedly, and Jed Spence will be back from the people we loaned. Javid Tanganga could be back or could not be back. Remains to be seen. Hit the bar. I think Johnson might surprise people under Ainge. I hope so. I really do hope so. He's got a lot to prove. Big up Jacob and the chat. Big up Talking Ball agrees that Johnson may surprise some people. Big up Mile High Hotspurs in the house. Big up Leo. Hope you're doing well. Carl Simpson says, cheers, Jacob. I bet Dyer just stayed just to piss you off. This guy. I heard Dyer had his phone on silent all summer. Why didn't Saudi come in for this guy? I heard that this guy was supposed to be good, and Saudi didn't even come in for him. What are we doing here? Remember that there was like a day where they said, he's linked with Man United. They did that for a few hours. Do you remember that? I remember that. It's kind of funny. But again, not the haha funny, more of like the ay Dios mío. Ashley Phillips, guys, if you're good enough, you're old enough. Good point. Especially as long as you're talking about footballers. Marshall, I personally find it hard seeing how good West Ham handled the Rice departure and reinvesting in quality, and then we just get Johnson with Kane's money. I don't ever think we were going to replace Kane with one buy, personally. Even if we did Ivan Toney, I would argue that that's not replacing Harry Kane completely. I would say also that I think we did one half of the equation to replacing Harry Kane, which was James Maddison. I know that's not with the Harry Kane money, but when we look at the overall problem that's created by Harry Kane leaving, you would argue that there's two people needed to step up and to fulfill that kind of contribution. For me personally, James Maddison looks already like he's one half of that equation. Now, we didn't get the other half of that equation, so maybe we're just waiting and play a little bit more smart. I'm honestly really disappointed we didn't get Gift Orban. I thought this is a guy you could play left, right, center, whatever you want to play, and he could get the job done, and we didn't even put a bid in. Craig Moy says, looking at the whole window and how many of them are in the first team, it was a 7+ the last couple of weeks. With just Johnson, more of like a 2. Most people are not looking at the whole period. Big up Craig Moy. That's at least how I tried to look at it. I wanted to take a step back, like outside of today. Yes, today was disappointing. Absolutely, today was disappointing. A lot of people waiting around, updating, checking, refreshing, clicking, trying to get a, who said what? Where is he going? We did it again. Just a lot of chickens clucking, but not a lot of business talking, if you know what I'm saying. But big up, Craig. I still like a lot of the business that we've done. Is Sessegnon coming back? I don't know. Is his hamstring repaired? I don't know. Sess out injured again, says hit the bar. Big up Bobby K. Big up Jacob and everyone in the chat. 4 for me. Happy with some of the incomings, but very disappointed with the players that are still here. Very disappointed with a lot of the players still here as well, Bobby. But we did get some out. We did get a couple out. But yeah, 4 for you. 4 for Michael as well. Jazz Fusion says, so glad they do have a match. Need to get the bad taste of the caribou out. Get that caribou out the mouth. The Carabao is not even a tasty energy drink either. I've had it once and was like, nasty, ew. Ryman's son, happy Labor Day weekend. Happy Labor Day weekend to you, sir. Hopefully you ain't working. But people like, if you're a parent, they ain't no Labor Day weekend. You don't get no weekend. You don't get no weekend if you have kids. I know that much. Marshall, wonder why Gift Orban didn't go anywhere, not specifically to us, but he hasn't moved, right? No, he's still at Ghent, and it's over. I believe even in Belgium they use the same transfer window as Bundesliga, if I'm not mistaken. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's how it goes. And yeah, he didn't go anywhere. But watch him go in January for about 50, 60 to like Liverpool or Arsenal, or somebody's going to drop a bag on him in January, and that'll be that. He'll start tearing up the league. That's what I think is going to happen now. Unfortunately, Tony D says, hey, Jacob, can you imagine if the Premier League went to player draft system once a year? People would lose their mind. Tony, don't even suggest it, my friend. They'll come at you with the pitchforks. Big up Tony D. Cute dog, looks like Wishbone. I don't know if you've ever seen that. When I was a kid, there was a show with a dog, and he would go on adventures and teach you shit about history. And he looked like that. He was like I can't even remember what the name of that dog is. Some kind of terrier. But yeah, his name was Wishbone. Tom 81, 2 injuries or Romero suspension away from Dyer and Sanchez at the back. Tom, let's not. Everyone's been saying that, and now we're willing it into existence. Marshall says Sergio Ramos is a free center back. Can you imagine Sergio Ramos and Christian Romero? Could you imagine them two? I mean, I'm not saying I'm against it, but Sergio Ramos and Romero, that sounds like a party you want to be careful. You want to be careful. Could you imagine? That is, wow. I would love that, personally. I would love it. Stu, Jacob, hit us with some positivity. Oh, yes, sir. You know I do, Stu. You know I keep the vibes immaculate. Again, I'll show this. I'll put this behind me just to remind people of some of the names that we brought in. Boom. Because if you look, all those names right there, even behind your comments, Stu, if you look at all these people, this was all done in this window. And these all affect the immediate 11. I like that. That's good news to me. That's positive. That's absolutely positive for me. Look at Googlemo. Don't even forget Googlemo down there. Not to mention these guys that we did. I'm just saying, we've done some good business. We just didn't do it all. We didn't do everything that everybody wanted. And that's okay. That is okay. We'll get there. Big up Craig the Gecko Man says, big up. Pressure is going to be on Richarlison tapping in the Speedy Johnson crosses. Well, hopefully, maybe they need a kiss and makeup video because I don't know if they like each other too much. I don't know if they do. Alan Bennett says, Burnley 1, Spurs 3 at the Turf Moor. Interesting. He's not back. I don't know when he's coming back. I heard he's out for like at least 6 months because he had surgery on his hamstring is what I heard. Hit the Bar says he's not gone. He's out injured. Well, there you go. Yeah, I don't know. I don't care about Sessegnon because if he's back or not, it really doesn't matter. And I think his injury only hindered the fact that we couldn't move him on. Because honestly, Sessegnon, I don't ever really care to see him in the Tottenham shirt again, if I'm completely honest. Tell me if you would in the chat and tell me why, please. But personally, Sessegnon, that hamstring, I don't trust it more than I trust a ham sandwich you left out in the summer sun all day. Big up Yosarian. Morning, all anything interesting happening today? We've got a match. I know you're aware, but we have a match in 12, 13, 14 hours and 45 minutes we have a match. So not too long we'll be playing some ball versus Burnley. And I'm looking forward to it. Get our mind off of the disappointment from today. But again, positives for me. Look at these names. Look at these names. Mickey Van de Veen. Oh, if that don't make you wet around the tips, I don't know what will. Carl Simpson says, yes, play Son up front and let's utilize the pace and flair around him. Absolutely. Let's go with fucking all-out pace. Brendan on the right. Sonny down the middle. Who are we putting on the left? Who's got the... oh, don't tell me Perisic. So Johnson takes Kulu's place. Or he takes Richarlison's place and we move Sonny to the middle. I don't know. Remains to be seen. Beer Talk, big up Jacob. We better start integrating Phillips ASAP. Personally, I want him to be our third or fourth option over Dyer, and hopefully he can then become the third option over Sanchez, is my hope for Phillips. Maybe that's putting too much pressure on the young man's back, but he's a big lad. He can take that pressure. Kim, big up Kim. Scandinavian, I believe. Still weak in the center back, one injury, and back in the problems. Absolutely agree. The depth is a problem. But I stand by the fact that we weren't going to do everything immediately, nor were people really willing to cooperate with us as far as being fluid and moving out. And so I think it takes, two to tango, especially when we lock these players into certain contracts that give them more power than maybe they should have. I don't know, but we are still weak. I do agree. One injury at several different positions. Left back is the first one. But now I can't say right wing because at least we got Brennan and we got Kulu to play out there. We brought in some attacking pace, so let's hope that comes good. But center back is also, goalkeeper is another one. Right back, you could argue, meh. Midfield, when Basuma and Sarr leave and if Madison goes down, what do we got? Especially if Lo Celso's hurt, like what Ainge said, we got a lot of problems. We don't even have a backup for Richarlison. We don't have someone to start over Richarlison. Man, big up. It's tough. It's a little scary. Maybe we'll see some kids come through the academy in the case of injuries, etc. But hopefully we can live with no fear going forward. I don't know. Chris Peters, another YouTube chat member checking in. Evening, Jacob. Big up, Chris Peters. Hope you're keeping well. Kaylee Davis says, any predictions on the first match that Dyer comes on as a sub? An immediate goal conceded is what I will say. My first prediction will be as soon as Dyer appears on the 18, he just immediately brings the vibes down because he's going to be pouting. You know he's going to be sitting there all pouty, sitting at halftime. I don't want to see him anywhere near the squad. Mike, big up Mike. Your boy Hotspur Hippie is one positive dude about the window. I agree. It's the first window. We play completely different from 6 months ago. We had some great signings. It's only the beginning. Big up, Mike. Yeah, exactly. Hotspur Hippie's got a smart little head on his shoulders. Big up, David Allen. Hello from Australia. Jacob, you're a beast. Stay loose. Stay loose, cut loose, whatever you want to do. David Allen, big up yourself. Happy weekend time. If you're in Australia, it's already Saturday, so it's time for you to cut loose, my friend. Big up yourself. Ben Spurs, if not many teams came in for loaning Dyer, what makes Dyer think teams will come in when his contract runs down? Give him the Danny Rose treatment. Make him play with the kiddos? Is that what you mean, Ben, by giving the Eric Dyer treatment? Or give him the Danny Rose treatment? Big up Maha Hotspur. Jay Pearson, hello, Jacob. Great channel. Big up. Appreciate that. Appreciate the love. Good to see you here. Yankees fan. I got a few Yankee fans, friends of mine. I don't follow baseball too well, but Michael does. He loves giving shit to Yankee fans. He's a huge Rangers fan. Beer Talk says, we have plenty of attacking players. However, one long-term injury to any defender will sink us. Let's not talk about it. Y'all manifesting it. We gotta speak about. We can't manifest it. I'm a big guy. Parrot is loaned out already. Marshall. Parrot has already been loaned out. Sorry, Jacob. Had to skip the poll as it didn't have an I don't care option. Peace and love and Ainge we trust. Come on, you Spurs. Ad infinitum. All right. I guess you don't. You don't have to partake in the poll if you don't care. There wasn't an option for that. I did not do that. That is true. But I see 88 votes, 69 likes. Nice. 86 people watching. Big up yourself. Appreciate y'all being here. Honestly, didn't think this many people would tune in. There's like 100 channels that are live right now because everyone's got something to say about the deadline. But I appreciate those of y'all who are tuning in right now. Big up. Apparently, Ainge's system doesn't call for a striker. Apparently. That's my dog. Apparently, that's true. But also, Bobby says apparently Johnson can play as a 9. So apparently, we got all these options. Apparently, remains to be seen. I'm here for it though. I'm here. Whatever we're gonna do, whatever we're gonna try and do, I'm here for it personally because I have to trust and believe that we're doing something in a different light. And again, I'm looking at these names behind and the business that we've done. It's all names that affect the 11, these first 6 names. And then we might be saying in 3-4 years time, Alejo Veliz and Ashley Phillips, wow, what a great bit of business. We already know Udogi's a great bit of business. So yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right with the window personally. Johnson can play any position up front, says Beer Talk. Let's hope so. Let's hope that's the case. That's what I've been wanting, at least in a forward that we signed. So I hope so. That Johnson and Sun Smile post incoming. Hey, can't wait. I can't wait for the vibes tomorrow. I don't think he's going to be on the bench or nothing. I mean, he's game fit, right? Isn't he? He's been playing for Nottingham. He played for him at the weekend. So surely, but don't call me Shirley, but surely he's fit. Maybe we could put him on the bench. Do what West Ham, they put out Mohamed Kudus. It pains me to see that man trot out in that number 14 for West Ham, personally, because that's one of them deals I would have loved to swipe up. You know what I think I should have done? I should have done more planning with this show. And I should have done like a what deals would you have hijacked if you could have. And today, I would say Bella Kotchap was one I would have hijacked immediately. But also Muhammad Kudus, if I had a chance to, I would have done that. Or Diaby. Diaby for 50 mil, I think is personally a better player than Brennan Johnson. But, you know, I got to hope that Ainge Postecoglou said it's my number one target for a reason. I can't get up here and say an Ainge I trust if I ain't going to trust it when he says this is my number one target and this is the kind of guy that I need. So we got it for him. There's a lot of pressure, though, and I hope they can live up to that amount of pressure. I hope so. My hopes are high, y'all. My hopes are definitely high. Richie, Son, Kulu, Johnson, and Valise. I guess in regards to the striker was the answer that you've given there. Wayne Muir, just hope Dyer and Domblay aren't in the 25 squad. Keep them well away. I agree. It'll be interesting. What do y'all know what time we actually have to announce that? Like, it's in like another hour, right? Didn't they get 2 hours after the window closes to announce their 25, something like that? Someone let me know. Chris Peters, Ainge now knows Levy in his windows. He is now a Levy yes man. You can already hear it in his pre- and post-match interviews. I think it's a little early to say that Ainge is a yes man, a Levy yes man. From the people who speak on him about, like they know him, they all lead me to the point that I would suggest that he's not really a Levy yes man, that he actually is you know, a stand his ground kind of guy. I hope they're right. Play Phillips or Dorrington, bypass the losers. I agree, Carl. Damn. You all right, Chewy? I don't know why I called out to him. He's deaf. I don't know why I call out to him every time I forget. It was just like instinct, I guess. Give Ainge his full time. Give Ainge his full contract time. Spurs will be fine, says David Allen. I like that vibe. That's the vibe I'm trying to pick up on too. Oh, my chat just went all weird. What's up, Yed Spur? Hope you're doing well. Who will score more goals for us, Richie or Johnson? Right now, I feel like maybe Johnson, but maybe because I'm just on that new. I got that new car smell, and it smells real nice. J. Co. hit us with a super chat. Big up, J. Co. I'm gonna skip ahead in the chat because I'm gonna get right to the super chat. It says, I'm going to remain optimistic as long as Dyer isn't on the roster. Just one game at a time. Is Johnson playing versus Burnley? He's definitely not going to start, but this is what I was thinking, Jay. He may be match fit that he could feature on the bench. Whose spot does he take? Whose spot does he take on the bench? Who are we saying? Yo, Chewy, cut it out, bro. I'm trying to do a show. Sorry about that. His damn dog, he's got no manners. Let's see here. Let me look at the last 11. All right, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull up. Well, not Fulham's 11. I'm gonna pull up the 11 versus Bournemouth. And let's see who's on the bench. So out of Perisic, Højbjerg, Skip, Lo Celso, Ben Davies, Fraser Forster, Davinson Sanchez, Maynard Solomon, or Emerson Royale, whose spot is he taking? Because someone's getting kicked. Someone's getting booted, right? Someone's definitely missing out. Here, I'll share this screen so y'all can see the names too. Here we go. It's right above me. Here, let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, sorry. So the substitutes are right here above me. Perisic, Højbjerg, Skip, Lo Celso, Davies all had an appearance versus Bournemouth. So you could argue that let's assume that those guys are all safe. All right. Sanchez, Solomon, Royale, who's missing out? Who's gonna miss out for Brennan Johnson's position? Because I don't think he's gonna be one of the starters. Shirley, but don't call me Shirley. It ain't gonna be none of these guys that miss out on the 18 completely. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat. Big up, J. Co. Appreciate you hitting me with the first dono of the night. Your donation goes a long way in my heart, goes a long way in the channel. Appreciate you. You're going above and beyond the call of booty. And the call of booty is just hitting that like, hitting that subscribe if you haven't already, helping the channel grow in that way is absolutely free. I see 79 likes, 94 votes. Y'all are killing it tonight. Appreciate every single one of you hitting that like right now. All 79 of ya. Let's see what the chat are saying. I'm super far behind. Let's see a question from David Allen. Get Orban in January. I hope we can. I'm going to skip ahead. I'm super far behind in the chat, and I apologize for anyone I miss. Let me just skim through. 6 out of 10 for Rick C. Seth has to go. Big up Roy. Big up Milton. Andrew Seymour. Big up. Kuva's in the house. Big up Kuva. Big up Jacob and all in the chat. Forget the transfer window. I'm just looking forward to watching us tear up Burnley with some more Ainge. The double is on. Love it. I love the vibe, Kuva. Big up yourself. Shoot me a text if you want to come on, my man. Maffey MC internationals are also a worry. Everyone come back fit. That's true. That is very true. Ben Spurs, where does this leave Solomon? Looks to me like he's been pushed further down the order, especially considering that Perisic is preferred to him. That might be the guy. Maybe that's the guy that we're going to have to push out. Spurs GCTV, big up. Says big up Jacob. Big up Alfred as well. I'm happy with the incomings. Outgoings were terrible. Kane left. I wanted Gallagher in for Horbier. Low-key, I really did want some Gallagher. I liked him a lot at Crystal Palace. When he had that loan at Crystal Palace, I liked him a lot. I cannot lie. And he also had goal of the month in April for Chelsea last season, lest we forget. Oh. Here we go. Is there a treat for y'all? Alfred. Yeah, not getting a third center back is extremely disappointing. I agree. Big up Daniel Sandoval. Big Ben Kaufman hitting a like. Always appreciate that. Just to grow love Spurs is Eeyore. Did I miss your rating? I must have missed your rating. I must have missed your rating. I might have. We shall enjoy some relaxing footy in the AM. Absolutely. Man, that's a cheeky 10 a.m. for you, Jazz Fusion. That must be nice. But for me, it ain't so nice. Well, it's only 8 a.m. for me, so not too bad at all. Not too bad at all. Got a late minute substitution coming up off the bench. Let's go ahead and bring him through real quick. I've added him in. There he is. What's crack-a-lackin', Kuva?
How's it going, Jacob? Yeah, just glad the window's over, to be honest. Too much expectation from what we know usually happens at this club. For me, I'm okay with how things went. It's a disappointing window. I was expecting that, though. It was sort of 4 out of 10 job, but I'm going to look at the positives. We have got Van de Ven at the back to partner Romero. That's great. Udogie and Porro are looking good. Vicario settling in, looking better and better with each match. We've got James Maddison, who is a massive positive to this team. We've lost Harry Kane. That sort of takes a lot of the gloss off things, because how do you fill his boots? You know what? With Brennan Johnson, I was 50-50 with him. I don't think he's the most technically gifted player. He's hardly a Phil Foden or a Jack Grealish type player. He's more of a speed merchant, but he does know how to find the net. His goals per shots ratio is really good. He was stuck out wide at Forest in a counter-attacking team that was, let's face it, struggling most of last season. So his numbers don't really matter that much. Ange is doing what you do with young players. You look at what they might be. You look at how you could use them and perhaps improve them. I think he could do really well for us. I think the fact that he can play anywhere across that front three, he can cut in from the left and take Sonny's place there, and we could run Sonny through the middle. Or maybe Sonny stays out wide and Johnson through the middle. I think the way Richarlison's playing, we've got to seriously look at replacing him at some point. As harsh as it is, the fact of the matter is he's been poor so far. So I think we could do well with him. He's just not the player I probably would have gone for, but I can see a plan forward with him, and I'm really optimistic about it. At the end of the day, our best signing of this window is Ange Postecoglou. I'm still, despite what happened Tuesday, I don't care about that. I do not care about Tuesday. I think it was Alex, Mr. Box Office, and I were talking about this the other day. I think he's done a good video on it as well. What do managers like Pep do at the start of the season? They experiment. They bring in players they're not expecting to see and change formations, tinker with it. In a way, that's what Ange has done, and he's learned about the players early in the season. It's better he does it now and finds out who he can rely on, even though it's painful and it did cost us a cup competition. It's better we do that early than in the run into the season. Perhaps we are pushing for like one of those Champions League sweet spots again, or pushing for European competition. Would you prefer to see the changes enforced then and we have no idea what it's going to be like, or would you prefer to see Ange seeing the failings of that group of players and work on ways to try and get a little bit more out of them when training? I think it's all coming together. Early days for Ange. He's up against it with our chairman. As you know, I am strictly Levy out, but you can only play with the cards you're dealt, can't you? And Ange's he's got this squad of players, and I'm enjoying our first 11 the way we play. Those league matches have been great this season. Really, really enjoying watching them. I'm hopeful, but I think we're going to come unstuck with a few injuries. Of course we will. We're paper thin on quality on replacements, and we're bloated with a squad that clearly, yet again, we've seen nobody wants. And even when they do want them, they don't want to go. That paycheck is far too sweet for sitting around on their arse doing nothing. We've got about 20 players we need to shift out, I think. But first 11 wise, I'm really, really excited by this season. I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Disappointing windows is what this club does, though, unfortunately.
You answered a lot of questions. You raised a lot of questions all within that opening monologue, Kuva. I love it. And the first question I'm going to ask is, did you see my video I made regards to Ange Postecoglou and the decision-making at the Fulham Cup? Did you happen to see maybe the first 20 minutes of that video?
I think I've seen some of it. I don't know if I've seen all of it. There's been so much happening this week. I can't keep up with all the channels, mate. It's like, well, I'll come on here and I'm thinking, wait a minute, are we on United Spurs of America, or are you hosting for David on Irish Hotspur? It's like we're popping up on all different channels. Can't keep up, but
yeah, it's hard to keep up. But I said a lot of the same things.
I got the gist of it. You're looking much more pragmatic about what Ange had to do.
Absolutely, and I think that
I fall into that same category. I think.
We could sit here and say, oh, as if I was manager, I wouldn't have done 9. I would have done 6. I would have done 4. Would have done 3. I would have kept one of the vice captains. And I hear all those arguments. And personally, I questioned, why not keep Vicario out there? He's in good form. He's healthy enough. But I think the fact that he wasn't featured just speaks to the point more of why he went with Forster and why he went with the 9 changes in general. So with that. But aside from all that, it sounds like you feel pretty good about the transfer window. I got this. I haven't moved on from this comment here yet from Lee. She says, just listen to the embargo section of Ange's press conference. Dyer and Lloris will not be part of the squad. So honestly, talk to me nicely. That's music to my ears. You've just opened the pistachio for me. You know what I'm saying? This is nice. This is beautiful. Kuva, how does this make you feel, knowing that in the embargo section, I guess, does he directly say it? Because Chris Peters also says no Dyer and Lloris. A few people are saying no Dyer and Lloris. Kaylee Davis saying, I bet Johnson doesn't start tomorrow. Of course, I don't think so.
I'd imagine it's too early. it's possible it maybe he hasn't even registered in time to make it. So even if we wanted to play him, we wouldn't be able to. I'm not sure on that rule. They seem to change quite often, so we'll see. But it's early anyway. I think it would be strange to do it on the eve of that match, expecting to suddenly come over, bring all this stuff, and
I mean, Lukaku played today for Roma.
Yeah, well,
Lukaku played today for Roma. I was watching that match.
I suppose. Well, he's got his. Well, yeah, okay, fair.
He didn't start, but he came off the bench. He played 20 minutes, and he was lively. I'm trying to think who else. Well, Mohamed Kudus, that's been done for a while. But you're right. I think one day is a little. I think Lukaku was done yesterday. It was done yesterday, actually. But he was in Italy already. But I mean, this guy's in England. He's at the facilities right now. He's got. I wonder what shirt number they gave him. But
I suppose in some ways you'd say with Lukaku, everybody in the world knows what he's about. So you can fit that into a team pretty easily if that's what you want. With Brennan Johnson, perhaps we're looking at a slightly different role for him, something he could blossom into rather than what he currently is, because he's a young player. Still can be moulded. Without that, yeah, I agree with that. He's quite more one-dimensional at the moment. But again, it's what he could become. If fans see potential to mould him into something else, he definitely can shoot. He definitely has the capability of scoring goals. He's quite clinical with it, and he is lightning fast. That is something that a lot of our forwards do not offer at the moment. So I think there's something there. But we'll just have to wait and see.
Absolutely,
it's the old cliche, whatever Ange wants, Ange should get. But I really believe it with this bloke. There's as we've said before on this show, we're both feeling those sort of early Pochettino vibes at the moment. There's things are changing at the club. Question is how quickly. Judging by the fact we can't get rid of everybody, not very quickly.
You know what? And I agree to that. I agree that not everyone who left. I wanted more to leave, to be quite frankly. We all wanted more to leave. A lot of were gritting their teeth, bearing it, dragging their feet, waiting for as long as they could, denying any move. I heard I think the reason this Brendan Johnson deal went on for as long as it did was because there was a moment in time where we offered Tanguy and Ndombele. He said no, doesn't want to go there. Then Davinson Sanchez was a part of the equation, and he ended up saying no, I don't want to go there. Now the Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, there was a lot of speculation. I don't know if you're doing the whole live play-by-play, Kuva, while the transfer deadline was playing out, but I was a little bit playing into the whole it's gonna happen, it's gonna, you know what I mean? Then they flinch, or when they give you that, you flinch a little bit kind of mentality. So I was doing a little bit of that, Kuva, and but Danny Dope here has a question. Most Spurs podcasts have been negative. What do you think of our performance so far? If you mean performance in the transfer window, I'm all right with it. I was yesterday saying like a 5. But I'm feeling more of like a 6 today, honestly. I woke up feeling a little... But if you think about Ange Postecoglou being a signing, I put that at a 7 then. But I'm going to say comfortably a 6 because the outgoings weren't enough. But we did get a guy who I've been complaining about for years. Harry Winks, he's gone. We don't have the Harry Kane distraction anymore. There are some good things that we got out. Lucas Moore is no longer eating up a roster spot. There are some players we got out. And then again, look at this list. Let me hide this comment real quick. Look at the first 6 names. Brennan Johnson impacts the immediate 11. James Madison impacts the immediate 11. Pedro Porro, same thing. Mickey Van de Veen, same thing. Kulusevski, same thing. Vicario, same thing. It's once you start getting to Leo Veliz and Ashley Phillips that it doesn't. But Maynard Solomon, I don't know where he kind of lies. And I was asking this question. I think I'm about to find it in the chat, what everyone's saying. But I brought up the question, who misses out on the roster, Kuva, now that we're putting Brennan in there? Because someone's gonna get the shaft. Is it Sanchez, Solomon? Is it Emerson? Who's it gonna be? Oh,
missing out on a squad number entirely. Yeah, that's
because someone's got to go. Kulusevski's not getting dropped. Whether he gets dropped from the 11 remains to be seen. But he's not getting dropped from the 18. We know that much.
Well, Lloris and Dyer aren't going to get squad numbers. We know that already. So take your pick on some of the others.
We're just thinking about the starting 11 or the 18, the people on the bench. And so like I had it pulled up, the people who were on the bench last match for Bournemouth, not the Fulham match, but last match, the people on the bench were Perisic, Højbjerg, Skip, Lo Celso, Ben Davies. I guess maybe the easy choice is Lo Celso because you could just say, oh, he's injured. I think Ainge did say that in the press conference. So right away you could say, okay, that guy's not going to be there. But when Lo Celso's healthy, he's supposed to be the interim Maddison if Maddison needs a breather, right? That's what his role is supposed to be with us. But so I guess that answers my immediate question. But long term, someone's going to have to miss out on the bench out of, my opinion, Sanchez, Solomon, or Royale in order to make room for Brennan Johnson. I guess this week it's looking like Lo Celso, but with a healthy Lo Celso, who do we leave out in that case?
Tough one, isn't it? There are no, we can't. Surely we're not going to be dropping Richarlison from the squad, but.
No
at
way.
the moment, no, he's still like one of the only two recognised. Well, the only recognised real out and out number 9 we've got, really, isn't he? So it's a tough choice. Højbjerg, he's pretty much surplus. I think he's been surplus for since he arrived, but that's just personal opinions, perhaps a bit too biased. For me, you never stifle your attacking options with a team. It's the thing you need to change up more than anything else. If you need to change up defence, it's either because you're got the injuries or things are going disastrously wrong anyway. But let's not go there. I'll prefer to look at us going forward. So let's keep those options open at the front. Who do I drop? I can't even tell you, mate. I really can't. Let's like I said, just keep those attacking options open. We'll worry about the rest. Højbjerg, Skip, neither of them really does a lot for me. I think we can do without having 2 of them on the bench. Perhaps that's the answer.
What number do you think Brennan Johnson gets? Because allegedly Dyer and Lloris ain't getting numbers. Who's getting it?
What's available? I'm trying to think. Doesn't matter.
It can't be part of the locker room either. It's a good point. Johnson cannot play tomorrow. He had to be registered by midday, and he wasn't signed until much later. Good point.
Yeah, that sounds about
so I guess
right.
he'll be hanging out with Eric Dyer in the stands. That sucks because if
Keep him away.
Keep him away, but he's going to be showing him around. You know that. Anything I can do to help out the squad, Mr. Postecoglou?
I'm the unofficial skip around here.
Big up Chris Peters. Mr. Box Office, send me the link. Get me on. Shoot me a text so I have you pulled up on my thing so I don't have to go digging around for your shoot me a text and I'll drop you the link. Jump on Box Office. Curious how you feel about the window. Wonder how you feel about it. Get Alex in the panel. Alex, shoot me a text. Yeah, he does one on. Daniel E. We literally wasted a spot in our squad. Stopped ourselves getting a center back by signing Solomon, who's not getting games. What, because he was a free in this mess? We have 2 good center backs.
Yeah.
It's a little messy. It is
a mess. It certainly is, but there's no quick fix to this mess.
You know, it makes me think of in Cat in the Hat, Kuva. You know, the cat came and everything got messy and dirty, and like we've begun the cleanup process of all the broken vases, of all the spilt liquids all over the place. You know how they kind of trashed the house while they were gone. So, you know, I think it might be one of those situations for me. We just got to start somewhere. You know, you gotta walk before you can run, so to speak. So,
yeah, true. And to Daniel, I'd say it's not necessarily wasting a spot, because what happens if we do get a long-term injury to heaven forbid for Sonny or Kulusevski or even Richarlison? We still do need that extra player up there. We're a little bit short on cover, especially with Kane going. Even even dare I say it, Lucas Moura we used to have as a sort of that substitute player that could do something occasionally. I didn't rate him, but he was there at least. He was technically able. You've got to fill out the numbers. If you've got absolutely nothing in some positions, you're in trouble. But again, where do you want to be in trouble? Up front or at the back? I'd prefer we're a bit weak at the back because I can take shipping a few goals. I cannot take it when we're not scoring any though. I've got to have the enjoyment of us scoring.
Yeah. Speaking of enjoyment, things are about to get a little out of hand here. Now, I told myself about 12 minutes ago, I told myself mentally, like, I'm just going to go another 30 minutes, keep it calm. I saw Kuva in the chat, and I was like, what's Kuva thinking about this window? And I'm getting text messages. People, obviously, Alex, he's texting me. I've sent him the link. He will be here in just a moment, but I got 2 other people I'm going to bring on before he hasn't showed up yet. I'm going to bring 2 other people on at the same time. Colin from Talking Ball. We got Paul from Hotspur Hippie. How are we doing, fellas? I'll start with you, Colin. What are you rating the window first and foremost?
I literally flip-flop around between like a 4 and a 6, kind of like everybody else. But yeah, I would say I think let's go 5, a solid 5.
Okay,
Yeah,
5 seems. That's kind of where I started at. That's where I started at. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm feeling a little bit better, so I'm going 6. Honestly.
yeah. You've been talking me into things like as I listen to your show and you talk about how those first 6 names impact the starting 11. I mean, yeah, you're selling me more as well. So.
Well, good. I mean, not good. I don't know. Maybe stick your heels in or have flexibility of thought. I don't know. I guess whatever floats your boat. Paul, a man who has never wavered. What are you saying? Initial thoughts on this window? How are you feeling?
I'm pretty happy actually. Maybe I'm just easily pleased, but I'd give it a 7. We got a goalkeeper, a centre back, a midfielder, a left back. Sarr and Basuma are like new signings, so it's an improvement. It's a huge improvement over what we had last year, and I wouldn't rule out Sanchez and Dyer not going because I don't think they're getting squad numbers, and if they just hang around a year, that's the end of their careers. So I don't know. I mean, another centre back would have been nicer. Maybe another striker for Harry Kane. I don't know, but I'm overall quite content with it all. Really, the clear out started. There's a couple of stinky players around, but they've only got a year left. Rome wasn't built in a day or 23 years or whatever. Yeah, it's all right, man.
I think you kind of alluding to what I was saying on the channel earlier. The window itself, I don't think it's that great. It's for 4 out of 10 for me. But you look at it overall with Basuma being the player we were expecting last season is now here. Udogie is now playing. Porro's playing. It's all coming together. So I think overall the picture I'm really happy with. I'm positive with how we're going forward. But it's always a question for me of what could we have done? What should we have done? We always get what we actually have done, and it's always less. It's always lacking. It always seems to be the case. But I'm with you, mate. Doubles coming definitely. We are crushing people this season. North London derby, can't wait. Going to the Etihad, bring it on.
I feel the same way.
I found this tweet, and everyone said it 5 minutes ago. I guess it was tweeted. Brennan Johnson will be, in fact, wearing the number 22. Now, I know for you, Paul, Kuva, you're probably the same. Y'all don't really give a flying shit who and what number they wear at the end of the day. It just matters the performance they put in. But for a weirdo like me, this is something I put a lot of stock in for whatever reason. But Paul, you know me.
You're just a branded Disney child. That's what you are. You like branding.
Well, speaking of branding, I have a man who brands himself everywhere he goes. He leaves a smell of sweet, sweet success and potentially popcorn. We got Alex. How are we doing?
Hey.
What's up, buddy?
What's happening, Jacob? What's happening? Mr.
Welcome.
Bot Office is back. Inspiration because my boy Kuva's on the stream as well, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because I've seen to be banned by other channels because they seem to don't like Mr. Bot's Office and don't believe in Mr. Bot's Office, not including Asthmatic though, because I love my boy Asthmatic every single time. You know what I mean? So big up to you, Jacob. Anyway, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's it. That's
Big
all
up.
I need to say.
Well, you're
That's
always
it.
welcome here, Alex. You know that.
Big up, big up, big up.
You're
Big up
welcome here,
everybody in
my
the
friend.
stream.
I'm asking you the same question I'm asking everyone upon entry. Where do you rate this window? What if you had to put a number on it, 1 to 10? Where are you laying at?
Don't hold me to it because I don't rate transfer windows, like you know. I don't play FIFA, but if I'm going to answer the question, 4. You know what I mean? You know, because as far as I'm concerned, Maddison, yes, he's the best. He's a great signing. I've said it already. Solomon, okay. Van der Ven, okay. He's only been here 2 minutes. Everybody's thinking he's the best thing since sliced bread. I'm sorry. I'm a long-term guy, not a short-term guy. Vicario, okay. He should have played on Tuesday. I've got to say that every single time. And big up to people that watch my video on Mr. Bot's Office TV because I told you why that team was out on Tuesday as well. I told you why, and the reason as well. And Johnson, he's just a below average Jamie Vardy. Sorry, don't need to say anymore, and that's it. Sorry, that's the truth, and that's it, and that's all I'll say, and that's it. And as I said, it's a transfer window showing you that this is a build. This is a build.
Mhm.
Yeah. So when people were going over the top, when we won those 3 we've got the results we've got, and then we got Robbie Williams doing tunes about Postecoglou, who again, I've said already, this guy needs to have a bad run. Yeah, and the fans saying we want Ange out, and then the board saying no, we are going to back this guy to tilt, and that's it. And when they back him, that's when Mr. Bot's Office is going to back this process, because that's when I know he's going to stay for the whole season, because that's an achievement for a manager of Tottenham Hotspur to stay the season, and that's it. You're going to have people in the chat saying, why are you being so negative, Mr. Bot's Office? Why are you being so negative? Kuva, answer the question why Mr. Bot's Office is being negative. Why is he being all this, Kuva? Tell me the reason. Tell me the reason, Kuva, because you know me and you have got you see eye to eye on this, isn't it? You know what I mean? Answer the question, Kuva.
That depends, doesn't it? There's one thing I've always known about you, Alex, is you like to give things time and then reflect on it, rather than just get carried away with the moment and seeing what the path in front of you and deciding exactly where that leads without knowing it. So I'll give you that one. You do like to hold off on your ratings and how
Here's what I will say. Alex, I agree with you that this confirms what I've felt and known since we hired Ange Postecoglou, that we are starting the rebuild. The first brick we laid was the brick master, some might say the dick master himself, Ange Postecoglou. We got him in. He began laying down the foundations. We got some young database signings in Alejo Veliz, Ashley Phillips, but we got 6 signings that I was just showing on the screen that immediately impact the 11. So for me, that's all I've been asking for. Even last summer when we were excited about, I was like, Basuma, I feel like impacts the 11, and Perisic. But outside of that, what really impacts the 11? And I didn't get a lot of that. And I think this window, there's some more of that. But at the end of the day, the problems that we have, we've always known. And I think we weren't going to fix and clean out the sewage and the gutters all in one fatal swoop, in my opinion. So I never had the hope that today, I guess I did have the hope that today we'd get some more business done. I thought that the showing at Fulham would be some arsenal to the fire of we should get some business done. Moondog Big Up says, good morning, lads. Come on, you Spurs. Big up, Moondog. Thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate that. But I do want to say I agree with you, Alex, in the sense this does indicate that. And I hope the same thing you hope, that Ainge gets this time, that we don't get impatient as fans and as a club where after a few bad results and things don't go our way, and then we look at this transfer window, and then, you know, some people are now saying, oh, well, I don't like the way things are going. I don't want to get to that point. I feel like the vibes have been immaculate with Tottenham until the Fulham match. And, you know, everyone's going to have their opinion on the way they would have handled the Fulham match personally. There's
one big worry at the moment. I brought this up on a channel earlier. I know some of the others on Tottenham on Tour also brought it up, and I think David Harris on Irish Hotspur also bringing this point up. All these players we can't get rid of that clearly aren't going to feature in the squad. That negative effect it will have on harmony within the squad and the first team. It could end up costing Ange's job, because the strength of player power, we all know that's ridiculous nowadays, and it won't be the first time that one of our managers gets brought down by the playing staff just because they're not happy. You know, instead of just being told you're being paid to train hard, go and train hard, work your way into the team, they go to the chairman. Like, look what happened on the documentary, the Netflix documentary, Danny Rose talking to Mourinho. Oh, well, doesn't get what he wants from Mourinho. I'll go and see the chairman.
Yeah.
What the hell? When can a player go to the bloody chairman and try and manipulate what's going to happen with his playing time? What's going on there? I think, unfortunately, we're in danger of seeing it yet again. Manager thrown under the bus because the players don't get on with their job.
You see, you see it now, Kuva, you saw it last year, yeah, with Conte, yeah, and you saw it with Mourinho. They're all happy now. All happy. It's all good. Oh, we love the training. We love it, love it, love it. Yeah? I've seen it before. We even said, oh, Song, oh, he's a great leader. I'm like, really? Really? Okay, let's see what happens when it goes bad. Let's see what happens if he's still a good leader when it's bad. Yeah? That's when you start seeing how good it is. Yeah? You know what? I actually don't mind him, Postecoglou, yeah? I don't mind him. Yeah? But I've seen this before, man. I've seen it. Yeah.
Well,
it's like a Soko event, bruv. I know I'm not gonna get no lady because I'm a loser. But the fact is, you know what the party is every single time. You know what I mean? You know the story.
Well, the thing is, Alex, I think what I would say why I believe things are different is we may have seen it, but we ain't seen it at this juncture and with this manager specifically. For me, what gives me hope is when you reference things like Jose Mourinho and Antonio Conte and Nuno and etc., what those times tell me they're completely different junctures of where the club was. And I feel like the Jose was us chasing the high of where we were, which was the Champions League final at one point, and it was just plumber's putty on a more serious leak than I think the plumber knew, and the plumber being the board and the club. So by saying that, I feel like what gives me a revitalized optimism that I don't think I had under these previous managers, and I want to bring Paul in on this, and then Josh, I'm going to come to you, because for me, when we hired Ainge, that told me we weren't going for this established trophy winner. We were going for a guy who's going to come in, help gut out what we got, and start building. Just start the building. I didn't want him to come in here and start build and immediately make me, you know, the Eiffel Tower or the Statue of Liberty, but I want him to come in and at least make the foundation that you can build upon it. And so that's where the hope for me comes in, because I can see that happening, that we are laying the foundations to be able to build. And I think you feel the same thing, at least by what you said, Alex. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you said the same thing, that this window proves we are in that stage. Now, Paul, I want to bring you in on the sense of the revitalized optimism. Now, you're someone who's seen the ups, the downs, the lefts, the rights. Would you say that this juncture right now is potentially a different platform for us to build upon it, whereas the Jose, the Nuno, the story of, oh, well, we've seen this before, that was under a different way of thinking? Could this be that happening, or is this just another, like Alex says, just another thing that we've already seen?
I think it's very different, because Ange Postecoglou is a different sort of manager. And, you know, if we look at one example, Eric Dyer, okay, Eric, you can have the captain's armband against Barcelona. Oh, you're shit. Well, you're not going to get any more game time. And Eric Dyer, Maybe he's tried doing all the whinging up to Daniel Levy, or maybe some other players have, but it's not going to phase Ange. He still hasn't picked him. So I think one thing that Ange has done really well is just dismantled this old lags network within the club. He's reduced their power. Harry Kane's gone. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, second choice. Dyer is no choice. Hugo is no choice. You know, he's created his own leadership group in his image. Instead, he's replaced that, brought in his new guard, and Ange is not someone who's just going to succumb to, player politics. This isn't his first rodeo, man. He's done it so many times before. So I've got absolute confidence that this is different, because we've got the best manager we could possibly have. What it comes down to for me, it's different times. It's a new era.
Yeah, and I think that's coming from a place where you've seen not only Spurs, but you've also seen Ange Postecoglou throughout his tenure as a manager. So I appreciate your insight on the level. Josh,
well, for instance,
go ahead.
He had a fairly big clear out with the Australian national team, with Brisbane Roar. That's two examples where he was getting rid of the old establishment, where, well-regarded players that have a certain amount of credibility with either the national team or the clubs. And Ange wasn't having it. 5 minutes and you're gone. That's it.
Big up. Chris Peters says, we are getting our hopes up way too soon. Well, if I'm not a hopeless romantic
Not soon enough.
for Tottenham Hotspur, not soon enough.
Cool.
Just for that, no offense, Colin, but you're getting moved to the top shelf for that comment there. We're winning the double. I've got a double here, a double there. Smush me in the middle, baby. I'm like a Big Mac now. Come on. Josh, I haven't heard from you. So initially, give me your 1 through 10 on the window. And then also, without, diving too much into it, because I don't want to reveal all the meat and the butter just yet of the baked potato. But
big up Josh, by the way.
Yeah, big up
Love
Josh.
that. Cheers. So, how am I rating this? Yeah. How am I rating this window? Okay, 4 out of 10.
Okay.
I think we could have done things a lot better. I think we could have got rid of some more of the deadwood. Højbjerg was looking like he was on his way out. Rejected Fulham, but Atletico went in for him, and our price was too high for them. Sergio Reguilon going on a loan to Manchester United, of all people, with no loan fee. I think he's scummy.
They're paying all his wages. They're paying 100% of his wages. 100%. Okay. I'm totally fine. You want Sergio Reguilon defending the left side? Please, I want to see Sergio Reguilon defending your left side of the pitch. I'm so happy he went to a Premier League rival that needs a starting left back, because that's absolute bits. And they're paying all his money. Come on, Agent Reguilon, he's going to pull a favor.
I wasn't aware they were paying all these wages. I thought we just went over there.
Goldbridge explode over the Reguilon deal, because I think it's fantastic.
I haven't seen that. Paul, send me that. I haven't seen it.
As soon as Manchester United lose, Mark Goldbridge explodes. Like, he's still going on about Tottenham. His latest comment was Wrexham would win the Premier League before Tottenham win it. Like, it just goes to show the kind of mentality.
Well, let's not talk about this guy who I don't know. Let's talk about Tottenham in our window.
So Jaffa Tanganga going out on a last-minute loan. I reckon we could have sold him. Rodon to Leeds, again, a player that should have been sold. There are so many players in this team that still need to go, and they still haven't. In terms of incomings, Brennan Johnson for 47.5 million. I think that's the price these days for an average player. I'm not going to say bang average, because I think that's degrading it a little bit. But he has just signed. If Ange wants him, I will back him. I will back every single player that Ange brings in. So
Brennan Johnson, does he get in over your boy Kulusevski?
Oh, I'm a Kulu stan, man.
I know you. Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's why I asked.
I love Kulusevski. I was the one that said that this guy would be January 4th. January 4th. I'll always remember the date. I said live on another stream, if Kulu comes to this club, he's going to work wonders. And at the end of the transfer window, he signed. So I'm a Kulu stan. I love him to pieces. But I'm a Spurs fan, so realistically, it's good to have some sort of competition there for him. But again, I think I know they say don't put all your eggs in one basket, but we should have done. We should have gone in for Eze early. I know a lot of people will say, yeah, but it's Eze, it's one player. It's not the point. The guy is phenomenal. And with that he would have been a fantastic signing.
I sympathize with the sentiment of we should have, we might have, we should have done this. But what I loved and why I deliberately did not go live until the window was completely shut was because I don't like doing that. Because if I do that, then I say, well, why did we sign Kulusevski and not Moussa Diaby for 50? Why didn't we sign Mohamed Kudus for 45? Those are both players that I would put ahead of a Brennan Johnson personally. So we could play that game, but personally, I think I'm just glad the window's over so we don't have to anymore, because I agree we could have done things better. We should have done, gotten more people out, etc., etc. Colin, I want to ask you this. Piggybacking off what Josh was saying, we in the reference that we didn't move a lot of people technically, and today we only saw Javid Tanganga going out on loan. Does that to you signal, like, is that red flags to you that we're not, or is it a matter of you can't begin to discard all of the trash? Like, I'm going to go long-winded real quick. Bear with me for a second, Colin. So there's a Wiener Schnitzel right by the house, right by where I pick up water, and it was old, run down, and then all the homeless people began to congregate there. So now, I guess, in order to fight that, they tore down the Wiener Schnitzel. Well, it's only half torn down right now, and it's been like 3 weeks, because when it comes to tearing down an infrastructure, there's a lot of ins and outs that go into it. You don't just want to be completely destructive. So is it a matter of just take your time tearing the Wiener Schnitzel down before you build a new one, or are you concerned that we just have a reluctancy to tear down the Schnitzel?
A little column A, a little column B. There's no way like that, for one, that we could get rid of everybody who needed gotten rid of. Like, and I know people will say tear up contracts, but as Sean pointed out to me the other day, that's hard to do because it really affects your FFP stuff. I mean, like, that's a lot of money gone, like, at once, right away, like, boom, paid out. It's not in installments. It's just gone. You know what I mean? So tearing up contracts, while it sounds good and while some clubs can afford to do it, well, some of our higher earners, I think it would have left us in a bad place personally. But maybe again, I'm wrong. But I mean, I am glad that the process has gotten started. It does sort of worry me that, it seems like there was an offer for Sanchez for $9 million that Levy didn't take and was holding out for 12. If that's the case, and we held on to Sanchez for another year, over $3 million, that bothers me. I feel like things haven't completely changed, but we're seeing them start to change. We still have the same chairman who's going to want as much return on his investments as possible, or as much money back for the players that he's purchased. And so, yeah, I mean, is it alarming? No, because we all know what team we support and who the chairman is and what to expect. But it is actually exciting because it shows that he is willing to do it to an extent. The Reguilon, transfer, thing to United of all places. I mean, like, United is a club that we've lost tons of players to in the past that we didn't want to, and so the fact that we were willing to get rid of him that much, even to give him to United, is kind of, I don't know. It just does show that he's ready to back the manager. The manager has said, I don't need or want or won't play these players. Do whatever, and he's done whatever instead of saying, oh no, you have to play the player. And I think in the past that might have been the case.
Specifically with the Reguilon deal, I know that wasn't United's first choice. They wanted Cucurella, and then he got cup tied, so then they went, okay, I guess we'll take Reguilon. At least that's how I saw that thing transpiring. And honestly, the writing was on the wall, I felt like, for a guy like Sergio Reguilon, because You saw him start the first 45 versus West Ham in the first preseason match. And then the second and the third preseason match, he played the second 45. So you could argue he lost his favor after the West Ham match. Destiny Ugotti just proved it to be too girthy, I think. And it was evident that this guy cannot get back and defend. He was getting torn up by Jared Bowen when Jared Bowen, quite frankly, was just out there playing like he was at the ballpark. He didn't give a damn. It was just a first preseason match. I think it was his third one at that point, because I guess other clubs played more preseason matches than us, which is a problem in its own right. But regardless of that, I'm not going to go back into Ainge and Fulham. I'm not, I swear, because then every fucking video this week will have something to do with Ainge and Fulham. But, Reguilon proved to not be a part of anything, because around that same time, whenever Reguilon was now falling out of favor, quotes were coming out from Postecoglou saying this and that about Ben Davies and how versatile Ben Davies can be, and I think he's a great athlete, etc. So he's laying almost the foundation there for me anyway, to look into and say, well, I don't think Reguilon really has a future here. So Reguilon, I never felt like had a future here. I didn't see it. I don't think defensively he can do what Ainge needs to do. Maybe he has the energy. But I mean, Scott M asked the question, and I went through it because I didn't want to interrupt you while you're talking, but it says Reguilon is better than our left back options. How can you be happy? We have Davies and Cess. That is pure garbage. I'll throw this, Josh. I don't know if that's your hand up or are you waving someone off.
It was my hand up. I just wanted to touch on something Colin just said about Davinson Sanchez. The bid there was for 9 million and he wanted 12, etc. I can completely understand wanting the return of investment, but any smart businessman knows that sometimes you need to make a loss. And more often than not, we are making a loss. Look at the Dele Alli deal, for example. We had plenty of opportunities to sell him, but because we held out over the couple of a million, he went on a free. This is what's going to happen to some of the assets of Spurs. Tanguy Ndombele is going to go on a free next season. Højbjerg will go. If Højbjerg doesn't go next in January, he's potentially going to go on a free. We almost lost Harry Kane on a free, but we luckily cashed in on him when we had the chance. Sometimes you have. It
wasn't luckily. You're going to dish out the blame. You got to dish out the credit, my man. We got the most for a deteriorating asset if we're talking from a business sense. So let's call the spade a spade. Let's not say we got lucky. No, we played our game and we got what we were looking for in the end. So I think I agree with a lot of the criticisms, but I think you got to make the blessings be just as loud as the non-blessings, in my opinion. Because
I'm just worried that
it's the way the swing swings.
I'm just worried that we're going to hold on to these players and they're going to see out their contracts, and then we're going to get nothing for them, and then we're going to be in no worse. We're going to be in no better a position than we currently are now. Right?
But that's not the fault of today, and that's not the fault of anyone there today other than the people who were there when they signed those contracts. Because those contracts that allow that...
If we'd sold those players, we would have had more funds to go for someone else.
I wish we would have. Oh, my God, do I wish we would have. You know what I mean? Like,
Kuva, I see you shaking your head. Go ahead.
It's the old Kenny Rogers song, isn't it? The Gambler. You've got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
I know that from a Geico commercial mostly.
Yeah. Josh.
I knew you were going to shake your head, Paul, as soon as I said that.
Josh is right. Josh is right. You if you get 9 million,
I love you too, Paul.
If you're getting offered 9 million for a player that doesn't fit and is not wanted at the club, take it.
Snap their hand off.
You holding out for another 3 million and end up with nothing. It is literally gambling with the value of players at that point. And
players' careers and players, you know what I mean? Like gambling with his career. Like he could have gone and played somewhere.
Yeah, you're right. Everybody loses.
Yeah. Like
I've literally lost so much weight since the Kane thing, because honestly, the amount of I was done so long ago. I was done so long ago with that Kane thing. And honestly, I don't give them credit for that at all. I'm sorry, because I just need to say Declan Rice. That's all I need to say. Declan Rice. Because they done it when they won the European Conference League. Next day said, you're going. You're done. Yeah? They get 100 million for him, get a race between Manchester City and Arsenal, and they got 100 million for him. Look at what Brighton did, yeah, with Caicedo. You know what I mean? You know, I'm sorry. I don't give
You're
any
saying we
credit to
should have
this
done it a
board
long time ago.
whatsoever. You know what I mean? And by the way, yeah, we ain't gonna be our fan base is never gonna be together. I said it on We Are Tottenham TV. Big up to them all. Yeah, yeah. I said it to them all. Yeah. No one's gonna be all as one as Tottenham fans until Daniel Levy leaves this club, because they're gonna have people that are in Daniel Levy, out Daniel Levy, in and out, whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Until he goes, she's never gonna go. We are gonna all be infighting until he goes, and that's it. That's why I'm the same like Kuva. I don't care anymore. I do not care anymore. I don't care. I didn't care about this transfer window. I didn't go mad when we didn't get Fatty, because I know my football club. I'm sorry, I know my football club.
So you tell me did you want Ansu Fati, Alex?
No, I didn't care, brother, because I didn't care. I was done with this transfer window from decades ago, because I know my football club, Jacob. You know what I mean?
So
I'm
you
sorry,
didn't want the Ansu Fati deal, but it's our fault
we have to
also.
make do and do magic, yeah. And if he gets 8th or gets into top 10, he's done a fantastic job. I'm sorry.
You've just solidified the point that a lot of the Spurs fans make. We are Tottenham. We know our club. We know that we're not going to do anything. So what is the point in getting overly excited about things?
The only thing I agree with what Kuva said, because we've had chats about this, at least I'm going to see some good football. Because I'm telling you right now, Manchester United, I was there myself, and I said that was the best football since Poch. All day, every single day. Yeah? Yes, the first half, we could have lost goals. Yeah? But I'm watching Tottenham actually pass the ball. Jacob, you know what, bruv? If you watch my my channel, Mr. Box Office TV, I actually agree with you what we did against Fulham, by the way. Yeah?
I saw your title to your video, and I was listening to something, and I put it in my save for later, because I was like, I wonder how he felt about that too as well. So
I said the same thing. I said he's done it because he's doing what Manchester City do beginning of the season, every single season. They try things out because that's a competitive game. So he needs to know whether these players can do it if they need to be called upon. Because what is the most important part of the season? The business side of the season. And what does Manchester City do during the first part of the season? They try things out. They struggle. But when the business side of the season, they are always there, and they win stuff because they know when to do it, and that's it. And what happened with Arsenal last season? They played the first 11 every single game, and look what happened. They got tired. Yeah? You know what I mean? Manchester City won the treble because of it. Yeah? Every single manager does it. Pochettino does it. Klopp does it. Every single top manager does that now. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And that's what Postecoglou was doing. Yeah, and I don't even back him at the moment, because I know when I'm going to back him, and I'm saying that. So I actually saying the same thing you're saying, Jacob. You know what I mean? It's funny how I agree with people that I don't even watch. You know what I mean? That's how Mr. Box Office thinks himself, and that's it. He's got his own mind, and that's it. And that's why I believe my boy Kuva, and that's it. Back to you, Jacob. I'm done. If you don't,
I appreciate that within there you were complimenting as well as saying that you didn't watch my channel. So I appreciate that first and foremost. But I also see a few people.
I don't mean that. Don't mean you, Jacob. I do watch you.
There's
certain channels I don't watch, but I still say the same thing as them. That's what I meant. But yeah, I do. I was complimenting you, by the way. Actually, give you a good mention, and that's it. So back to you. I'll
take it. Yeah, I'll take it. It's like a pig in shit. Happy as ever. There's a few comments here about Højbjerg to Galatasaray. Is the Turkey window still open? Can
the Turkey window's still open, I think, for another couple of weeks.
Okay, so potentially we could still see some more business. Is that what you're talking? The window's shut, but maybe there's still a crack for some air to get through. I don't know.
Yeah, the Turkey window's open until, I think, for another couple of weeks. I think the 14th of September it closes. But I don't see Højbjerg. I've not seen anything with Højbjerg linked to Galatasaray in the slightest.
Well, I've been seeing a few comments about it, so I don't know if maybe one of my esteemed guests could use their smart devices and Google that.
Chris Peters just confirmed it. It's a week. It's a week from today.
It's a week from today. Big up Chris Peters, YouTube chat member. Another thing I want to talk about, obviously, Brendan Johnson, I'm going to go around the horn here and just kind of get everyone's feelers on it. Obviously, Richarlison's looking like our striker going forward. Brendan Johnson comes in, doesn't seem like an out-and-out striker, but doesn't seem like he can't not play the position. So Kuva, I'm gonna start with you, and then I'll just go around. Richarlison going forward, are you immediately saying we got to put Brennan Johnson in for his place, move Sonny to the middle? What are you saying in regards to how this signing of Brennan Johnson could impact Richarlison's spot in this team?
Well, first off, let's acknowledge that no matter who our favourites are in the team, the front three have not been firing very well this season. Not so far.
Yes, but the best out of the three has been Son.
They at least Richarlison, you know, and the Kulusevski have turned up with a goal, but you know, Sonny's showing signs of getting something back into his game and creating a little bit. But Richarlison, he's not even managed to recapture the form at Everton, which was average.
He's not the ticket, is he?
No, he's just not doing it. I've tried to big him up. I've tried to look at the positives to his game. He's got a bit of aggression to his game. He'll chase everything like a dog after a parked car if it's got brain damage. But it's just not coming off for him, and it's no big deal to drop a player if they're not playing well. You can't be scared of doing it. You've got to just
when you don't have a replacement, when you don't have the backup for him.
This is where Johnson comes in, because I do think he could play through the middle. I do think he could play in Sonny's position as well, and Son could go in the middle. We do have some options there now by that one
That's
signing.
the beauty. Yeah.
Also, he could play on the right, and Kulusevski, if we got an injury to, say, Maddison or something, perhaps put Kulusevski into the sort of number 10 role. There's a few options we didn't have without Johnson in the squad. Is he the greatest player in the world? No, of course not. Could he become a very useful player for us indeed? Could he really excel? Yes, he could. We'll have to wait and see with that. What he has got that we have been lacking is raw pace, and tons of it. He's got to be one of the quickest players in the league, if not the quickest. And he's also able to find the net. He's a very accurate striker of the ball. The reason he doesn't get great figures is he was in a struggling Forest team, and he plays a lot of the time out wide for them in a counter-attack. His figures aren't actually bad when you look at them, but he doesn't quite... He's not that sort of polished player I like to see in an attack. He's not your Phil Foden. He's not your Jack Grealish type. I like to see those tricky little players with quick feet, very intelligent footballers. Can he offer something that isn't what they offer? Yeah. We'll have to wait and see. What I do like is that Ange came out and said, yeah, this is somebody I think can really do something with his team. Because I was expecting it to be just another club signing. You know, we had previous, Paratici liked him before, didn't he? And I thought, oh, here we go again. Another club signing that the manager may or may not want. It's a big positive for me just to hear him confirm, yes, I like this player. I really wanted to get him. So let's see what he can do. I think we just have options, and we're not in as bad a strait as we thought we were when it comes to the forward line. We are just deficient in many positions other than that. Few injuries to key players, especially if it's somebody like Basuma now or Romero or Van der Ven. We're going to be taking a few steps back. It's going to be squeaky bum time, but I like what I see with our forward line at the moment, considering we've just lost one of our all-time greats. It's going to be a struggle season anyway in that regard. But we're doing okay. The goals are going in the league. We found out in the cup that our second string is not very good.
Well, we confirmed it. We all knew what we could confirm. And like I said in my long spiel, in a court of law, he now has the factual evidence to show in an Ange Postecoglou system under his tutelage, these players are not good enough, thus compiling the more evidence. You know what I mean? Like Ted Bundy, he didn't get charged for all the murders that he did. But he got charged for most of them. And I'm not relating the two, but I sort of am. Josh,
I love your analogies, man. They're so good.
I don't even... They just come into my head like a bubble at a West Ham stadium. Just floats through the air, and then, poop, there it goes.
It was this show I made my favourite ever comment on YouTube. We were talking about Eric Dyer last season. and I just remember saying he's the most notorious clown since John Wayne Gacy.
Yeah, I do remember that. I do remember that one. That was a good one. It's going cool.
Yeah, I don't know, just felt right at the time, and I'm
Real
sticking
quick,
with it.
there's a Galatasaray fan in the house commented a few times about Højbjerg to Galatasaray. Is 20 million euros enough? I feel like Josh is going to say yes because he doesn't like Højbjerg.
I would pay you to take him.
Yeah, I knew it was something like that.
It's not just me that doesn't like him, man. Like he's been exposed for the fraud that he is. Like, granted, he's had a couple of good seasons with Spurs.
He's not a fraud. He just does his job.
He's not good.
Don't ask him to do a different job. Don't ask the janitor to teach science.
He was a fraud on
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
It's funny because I was saying this on the Irish Hotspur a couple of years ago, and everyone was.
Mate, I was with you. It was me and you, and we were debating Ellie because Ellie was just so strung up on Højbjerg.
Shout out Ellie. Shout out Irish Hotspur.
I can't have a go at my queen Ellie. Ellie's my Ellie.
I love Ellie to pieces. I love Ellie to pieces.
Ellie to pieces, but she loves Højbjerg. She loves Højbjerg.
She's dancing tonight.
Now people are starting
she's
to agree with Mr. Box Office. Mr. Box Office was the deluded one, I was told. Well, they all agree with Mr. Box Office now, isn't it? The main event, the ratings killer. Yeah, very funny. Anyway, back to you, Jacob. Sorry to
that could be a good thing. Like if you kill the game, you know what I mean? Like you put mustard all over, you ate it up. You know what I mean? You killed it. So if you're coming over here, coming to the ratings, you're killing it. I would say regardless of ratings, whether you kill it or you love it, Alex, that smile that you have right now, it's worth whatever it does to my channel. I'll tell you that much. So I appreciate you being here.
By the way, just an observation, but isn't the ratings killer a bad thing?
You can say it's good. You can say it's bad. That's it. That's the reason why I call it ratings killer. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Intrigue.
International man of mystery, professor of truth and entertainment. I love it. Yeah.
I don't know where I left off, but who's missing out in the squad? No, the Højbjerg thing. I think the fans. I would not take 20. I think 20 is a little bit too low for Højbjerg. But I want to kind of go back to Richarlison. Is he the guy that's going to miss out from Brennan Johnson joining, or is it Solomon that has now just fallen so far down the pecking order? Alex, I'll ask you.
You know what? I think it's just competition at the end of the day. I do agree with what Cooper's saying. I think he is the heir to maybe going up front. I think I think what I see at the moment, I think he's trying to have a front three that can interchange in different positions sometimes. Because I think that's what we miss sometimes, especially with the whole thing with Harry Kane and up front, because he was just the mainstay up front, wasn't he? You know what I mean? So I think either way, I think there's competition for places, and I do think that front three needs to be shaken up. I've got to be honest. I've not been impressed with Kulusevski. I've not really been impressed with what is his name, Richarlison. I think, but in saying that, I wasn't expecting goals from him. I just wanted him to move. At least he's moved. He moved in the last couple of games. He has, but he's still rubbish. And like I said he was going to be replaced with Kane. I want Song up front, even though he hasn't been that impressive. I want Song up front. I think he's been better when he's up front, to be honest with you. And I don't know why he's not up front. He's the captain, so I mean I don't understand why he's not up front. So that's it for me. I think Solomon needs time. You know what I mean? I think he needs time. I think he does work well in the system, but I think he needs time. And that's it for me. But yeah, I think Johnson will hopefully be more up front. I think I think he's going to be someone on the shoulder for me, like a Jamie Vardy. That's what I think he's going to become for me. But yeah, I think that's it. I mean, I haven't really watched too much of him, but I think that's the striker I'm envisioning him to do anyway with his pace.
Yeah, a young Vardy, whenever he would actually get in behind very effectively. There's a time when I was actually scared of Vardy because he couldn't stop scoring against us.
It was back at him and Kane back and forth for the golden boot, wasn't it?
Yeah, bastard.
Except Kane didn't have all the nicotine patches and Red Bull.
He also didn't go on camera calling out Asian people. But yeah,
I don't remember that happening.
Paul,
so
what were you going to say, Paul?
I'm not as worried about the front three, but I don't think because I think Son's been getting better, and I think Cooley's been getting better.
Your mic sounds kind of messed up, Paul. I don't mean to interrupt you.
No,
But
I'll come back.
I don't know if you got a cookie on top of your microphone. Oh,
I think he's coming back.
yeah.
I think he's coming back to
that's
sort it
probably
out.
what you
Yeah.
were saying.
Fell in the lager.
He sounded underwater.
All I will say, 0127. I don't know what time it'll be for you. In Para to Terim. I've got the comment here. It's fantastic. Love it. Højbjerg, really so good player. We will cook United. If giving you Højbjerg will help you cook United, you can have him. You can have him. Just cook United as much as you want.
Mike check.
Nothing all right?
You still sound underwater. I don't know. Is your mic input or maybe it's just your settings? I don't know.
Hang on, let me just.
That sounds better. Oh, and there he goes. Well,
I think he's gonna come back. He's trying to sort it out.
He's figuring it out. Let me say what's up to some people in the chat. I've been slacking on the chat. Normally I'm more interactive with the chat, but still over 100 of y'all in the house, 110 likes. So really, I got nothing to complain about except the fact that there's 141 votes. So by my math, 31 people did not want to bring the free beer to the party, but that's okay. That's the life they want to live. And I'm not here to tell you what life to live, my friend. I would encourage you, however, to hit that like. It does help the channel grow massively. And it's absolutely free. It costs you absolutely nothing but a little clickety-dickety as a finger. Paul, talk to me nicely. How you living?
Am I sounding? Am I okay?
Oh, you sound so great now. You just came up out of the water. Now I hear Paul so clear. I can see clearly now.
Yeah, I'm not worried about our up front as much. I think Son's coming good, Kulu's coming good, Richarlison, I have no idea yet. But the thing I remember is last year Celtic scored 114 goals. They conceded 34. Damn. And their striker Kyogo Furuhashi, who had a fantastic season, brilliant player, only scored 27 out of those 114. So 87 goals were scored elsewhere. Even without a striker, Celtic would still have had a goal difference of over 50, which is ridiculous. So we're not dependent as we, have been. I'm still used to being super over dependent on Harry Kane bailing us out in the shit. But we're going to be playing football in such a way that we don't have to rely on one player. So I'm confident, man. Ange is the guy. And that's what it comes down to for me. I've seen him do it before. We're going to start winning shit. I know that's probably not what a lot of people think at the moment, but I reckon it's just a fact. We are going to start winning shit. That's it.
I like it. I have been informed by my wife. My son is awake. I have been given the 2-minute warning. So I'm going to go around to everyone, give you a last chance to have any final thoughts, and then plug anywhere you might be. And hopefully that gives me enough time to find the link to put in the chat for you. But Paul, I ended with you, and I'll start with you. You got any final thoughts? The transfer window's over. I mean, this was supposed to be sort of a Burnley preview, so maybe just give me your quick Burnley thoughts. Instead of final thoughts, you know what? Fuck everyone's final thoughts. Give me your thoughts on Burnley and your score. And because I guess I'm not going to do a show before we play Burnley in 12 and a half hours, 13 and a half hours, something like that.
Something like that. Well, I reckon we're going to smash Burnley. And sooner or later, we're going to smash a team 6-0. So why shouldn't it be today? Because it's match day here for me. I've got no more sunsets. Bugger it. 6-0.
6-0. Hey, yeah. I like that. Do you see it being all happening in the first half, or is it evenly spread peanut butter and jelly? Or
I think we're just going to be doing them for 90 minutes.
All right.
I think Vincent Kompany's coming up short in the Premier League, if you ask my opinion. And I think Ange is savvy, and his experience of being a coach for 30 odd bloody years is going to piss all over Kompany and Burnley.
I like that. That's a good attitude. It's ballsy as well. I was rolling through the comments.
Maybe.
What's that?
And stupid, maybe. Ill-informed. Who knows?
No, never at the Hotspur Hippie, which I'm putting the link in the chat right now. Paul's channel, the Hotspur Hippie.
Thanks, man.
Anyone, everyone else, if you drop in the private chat, that'd be great. While I go to Kuva. So Alex, Josh, and Colin, if you can drop your link in the private chat for me so I can post it. But Kuva, I know you're on 3 Spurs boys, but talk to me real quick. Burnley, what are your initial thoughts? How do you see this playing out? What are your initial feelings as well?
Before they got relegated, Burnley used to be one of those thorns in our side, regularly taking points off us. But I agree. Since they've come up, they don't look all that. I think with us not quite firing on all cylinders with the forwards so far, going to be a tough game, very few chances. 7-3 Spurs win, I think.
Oh, nice.
7-3. A little bit more competitive than the 6-0.
Yeah, the doubles. Yeah, well, Paul's being unrealistic with a clean sheet. So let's have it. Five goals for Sonny.
Oh, shit, yeah. Talk to me nicely. I will not have clean underwear for weeks if that happens. Ankit says 4-1. I'm hoping for Spurs. Two Buckle is in the house saying Two Buckle in the house. So Two Buckle gives the window. Two Buckles also speaks in the third person, so I kind of like that. Says I've never seen this name before. Says gives this window 4.5 out of 10 because it matters in Van de Veen. Very interesting. Shout out the Galatasaray fans in the house. I guess the Højbjerg rumors were enough to get some Galatasaray fans circling around. It's kind of interesting. Let's see who put their link in there first. Colin, talk to me about Burnley.
Yeah, I mean, Kuva's 100% right. I remember when Burnley kind of scared me. They were big and mean and kind of scared me. That we've never been a particularly like hard side Spurs. No offense, but that's just not the thing I would say about Spurs. Is like, oh, they're tough. But Burnley were. But yeah, I mean, I see no reason why we can't go with the way we've been playing, with the way that we control the tempo, we control the match, we control things. I mean, I don't feel like we're scrambling and obviously not playing the same defensive style. I think it's going to be a high-scoring event. I'm hoping. Has anyone heard, is Van de Ven fit to play? I know that he hurt his hamstring in the match on Tuesday.
Angel Postecoglou said the only one unavailable is Giovanni Lo Celso. So that would lead me to believe that he is available.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that yet. Perfect. And well, yeah. So in that case, 5-1. I think the team's going to come out firing and want to show why they deserve to be the ones picked, because clearly it's not going to be the same ones that were played on Saturday. They're going to want to Tuesday, and they're going to want to one up that and show that coach is making the right choice. He's picking the right people for his first team. So I think we're going to come out with something to prove, and they'll try to make it up to us fans Tuesday. I mean, but yeah, so that's my guess. 5-1.
Good
5-1.
shout, actually. If Van der Van's fit, of course we'll keep a clean sheet.
There you go. So 7-0.
Just on David Cooper's message there, Ange Postecoglou is such a powerful football presence. He makes Spurs fans, kids, win every single game. My daughter won her grand final in Sydney the other week, so your son's going to nail it today, mate. Good luck.
Hey, big up. Good luck, David Cooper. Absolutely going to kill it. I was reading your comment, just didn't want to interrupt my guests while they were speaking. But big up and good luck to the youngin'. May trophies be in your future. But go find Colin at Talking Ball. Give him a sub. Got some content coming out. Allegedly, we shall see. He's in the dark room right now, but maybe he's cooking up something we can't quite see just yet.
Whipping it up, bro.
Alex, I'll come to you next. In the sake of rotation, I'm a big rotation kind of guy. Putting your channel in the chat. Everyone go sub to Alex at this channel as well, if you haven't already. But tell us your initial thoughts, Burnley, and score prediction.
2-1 Tottenham. I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we'll have more of the ball, but I think we'll score because of the midfield, and that's it. I'm not. yeah, I've got not really that much to say on that, really, to be honest with you, because like I said, we're just getting through games at the moment because it's only the early part of the season. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the Burnley game. So yeah, that's it really. Yeah, it's Mr. Box Office TV. Yeah, so I'll hopefully do some lives of Mr. Box Office Unleashed. I've already put something on my channel last night regarding my differing thoughts on the Tuesday game, and that's it. And yeah, on the road to 1,000. Hopefully get into that soon. I think it's 130 I need at the moment. So yeah, hopefully get that to that target soon, and that's it. And still working on the good, the bad, and the bang average top 5 as always.
I love that title.
Check it out, and that's it. And that's it. And like I say, put your notifications on because I will be unleashing soon and making it known, and that's it. And no one's safe, even YouTubers. But anyway, and
So you're gonna say
what I'm
even
talking
you,
about,
Jacob? I was
Cooper.
like, oh shit,
And
what
that's
did I
it.
do?
But anyway, and that's all it is. So if
There
you
it is,
don't
the
know,
link. Help Alex
to
get
know.
to that 1K. He's almost there. With your help, he can surely get there, but don't call me Shirley. Josh, we'll end it off with you.
Really quickly, just going to say Alex's last video was really good. I reckon one of your best, mate.
The one on Postacoglu? The one that's in my queue?
Yeah.
All right. Got something to look forward to. Appreciate that. So go check it out there, Alex THFC. Let him know in the comments if you agree or disagree with his opinion on Ange Postecoglou versus Fulham. Josh, I know it wasn't as long as maybe I would have liked. I got a big panel, so I would have liked to go another hour, but I do have my job calling. But I'm putting your channel link in the chat. Tell us your initial thoughts of Burnley, and then as well your score predictions.
Burnley's going to be a clean sweep. I think they're a bang average team with a bang average manager. I reckon we go there. We're going to win 4-0. There's no frozen pitches can save them this time. That's all I'm going to say. You know what I'm talking about.
If you know, you know.
No frozen pitches are going to save Burnley this time. We've got the best looking Spurs squad we've had since Poch. We're playing the best football since Poch. No one is safe. We've just outclassed Man United. We can outclass some BTEC outfit from Burnley.
Love it.
My channel, Football Manager streams will be returning. I know Kova's looking forward to them, but the Football Manager streams will be returning. Now the transfer window's closed, I wanted to wait until then, where we're going to be rebuilding Spurs, but I do generic Spurs content. I just talk about matches and stuff. I've got a little rant that I went on about Daniel Levy after Kane left. Other than that, I'm just any other Spurs channel with different views. If you like the culture of the Spurs YouTube community, feel free to come over to my channel. Jacob, thanks for having me on, mate.
There it is. Yeah, man, of course. Made a little I was planning on just doing a solo stream for an hour and a half, and then you know how it goes. Once you let one rascally cat in, you start feeding one, and then all the kitties start meowing, and then you know what? Next thing you know, I'm the crazy cat lady. But I enjoy it, honestly. Nothing wrong being the crazy cat lady. So I do want to say thank you to all the guests that joined. Big up Kuva, big up Paul, Hotspur Hippie, Call him a Talking Ball, Mr. Box Office TV, and Josh from Speaking Spurs. My prediction before I say goodbye is I think it's going to be a 3-1. I think we will concede. I can see Burnley being tricky. They're an aggressive team as well, so I think they will come at us putting up the fight that we saw United try to put up for about 40 minutes. We saw Bournemouth try to put up the same fight for about 20 minutes. I think Burnley will come out and put up a fight against us. It might catch us out for a second. I think we will at least have one mistake, and if they are able to capitalize, that's why I say 3-1. But I think we go out there and we get our dinner finished. I think Son bags 2, Madison with the other one. Or that's if Son plays through the middle. If Son plays on the left, Richarlison through the middle. I'm gonna say Madison with 2, and someone in the midfield with the other one. Basuma or Sarr, take your pick. But that's my prediction. I'm predicting the win. I sure hope so. We have no reason to stop now, right? So Daniel says Burnley won't be easy. Big Steve MCFC says you're all underestimating Company. Actually, I wanted Company at Spurs, so I respect him a lot. I think he's a good manager. Just now the proof is going to be proven whether he could keep a team up, and let's see if he can do it. But let's see if you're right. Eagle did a shit in Ozil's eyes. Interesting. Don't know exactly what that means. But
they're talking about Besiktas, and they're talking about the eagle being the symbol of Besiktas, and it flew off somewhere.
Oh, and it pooped in his eye?
Yeah, apparently so.
That can blind you. I heard if a bird blew a poo-poo in your eye, it blind you. Anyway, I'm going to digress. Kuba says not underestimating him, just straight disrespecting him. Milton Nobrega says 1-0 Spurs. Basuma scores. I would like to see Basuma get his first goal. Hopefully he can hit a cock rocket like he did versus us when he was at Brighton. I would love to see that. Also want to real quick say big up to J. Cove for the first super chat of the day, and Moondog always coming in and blessing us with a super chat as well. Good morning to you, Moondog. Hope you're living well, my friend. But again, everyone in the chat, it's all love. I saw a bunch of Galatasaray going back and forth. I think it was hilarious. It was absolutely cracking me up reading it. Y'all are funny. I love it. Come back and keep dishing it out. But until next time, as always, I'm going to have to sign it off in my... it feels cool that there's a lot of y'all here, but I'm like, usually I do this and I'm just looking at myself when I do it, but it's a little intimidating. So let me say, stay fresh, stay blessed. Paul, don't distract me. Up the lads, and come on, you Spurs.
Quiz.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Hey, big up David Cooper real quick, upgrading himself to the 10-inch club. Big up my friend David Cooper, upgrading his membership there. Big long dong slong man, David Cooper, swanging it. And just for that, I know for a fact your kid's going to win the tourney. But again, big up. Just wanted to say that. I saw you upgraded before I ended the stream. Just wanted to say big ups and thank you for that. But again,